Hello everybody, welcome to Sisters Most Magnus, and in this video, I am going to be showing you guys all of the LEGO Mechs that I have in my collection. So, I have collected a lot, and I mean a lot of LEGO Mechs over the years. And what you're looking at right now is the entire collection that I have. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over all of these mechs and also kind of talk a little bit about them as well, because why not? So let's get into this. So the oldest mech that I have is the original Samurai X mech, and that is this mech right here. And it's a very cool mech. I do love how the top is supposed to be like a samurai helmet. Also, I love the fact they use these like front train pieces right here. That's a very cool parts usage. And overall, it's a very cool and classic Ninjago mech. I am very pleased with this one. The next mech that I have, or I don't even know if I can call this a mech, but I thought I would show it to you guys anyways. But this right here is basically like a bit of a small walking vehicle for Zane. It came in the Garmatron set, and it's not really that impressive, but I do love how you use the chairs right here. That's a cool parts usage. Anyways, the first mech that I actually got was this green queer mech. And this mech right here is honestly very cool because you can pose it in a lot of cool ways, and I do love how the head is built. That's very cool to see as well. And now, even though this doesn't really seat a minifigure, I still thought I would mention it anyways because technically it is a mech. The next mech that I have is another queer mech. This is the Future Flyer. So this is basically a different version. And what's cool about this one is there are wings that can fold up, and you can adjust the thrusters at the back as well. That's very cool. So yeah, this is actually another very cool queer mech. And next up, we have Ice Spite's Claw Driller. This is one of the last Legends of Chima sets, and this mech is honestly very cool. You can basically turn a drill, and there's even a vehicle in the back. That's very cool. So yeah, I am very pleased to have this mech. It's very cool. The next mech that I have is actually a polybag. This is Jay's Nano Mech. This is from Season 4 Tournament of Elements. And it would be cool to get his actual Electro Mech, but as it stands, this mech is kind of alright. So I don't really mind having this one. The next mech that I have is Zane's Titan Mech. And now here's the thing. This mech right here is a bit smaller than some of the more recent Titan mechs that we've gotten, which we will get to those in a bit. But this one is still very cool. I do love the little spinning blades on the sides, and the stud shears as well. It's a very solid mech nonetheless. The next mech that I have is the Meckenstein. So this right here is basically a co-opted version of the Samurai X mech. You can clearly see the Samurai X mech's DNA in this thing with the head and the train track pieces. But I do love how this one has 4 arms. It's very cool. So yeah, it's very cool to see that LEGO decided to make a possessed version of the Samurai X mech. That's very cool to see. The next mech that I have is this little crab walker thing. It came with the Storm Jet, but I do love how you have a shield right here, and I do love the little claw on the side. It's very cool. Next up, we have a pretty crazy one. This is the Water Strider from the Ninjago movie. And this is a very crazy 4-legged vehicle. And I do love how you can turn the cockpit section. It's very cool to see. And now, I do kind of feel like I have to include the Green Ninja Mech Dragon, because even though this is a dragon, it is also a mech dragon. So I thought I would show this one to you guys as well, because it is supposed to be a mechanical dragon. And I do actually like the design of this dragon. This is one of the more memorable sets from the Ninjago movie. And it is still very cool. The next mech that we're gonna take a look at in this video is going to be Zane's Titan Mech. So this is the legacy version of the Titan Mech that we just looked at. And as you guys can see, this one is bigger than the last one, but it is also a little bit different. And I do love the little sublayers on the sides, and this time there are spring-loaded shooters on the sides. I do like these shoulder armor pieces, I guess they are. I do love the use of a water blade right here. It's very cool. And by the way, this mech actually does have elbow articulation and knee articulation. So as you can hear, there is a bit of squeaking, which is not really that good. Next up, we have another Zane mech. So this is the Evo mech they had. It's a very cool looking mech. Like you get a cool saw blade on the side as well. And he does carry a small sword around, but it's kind of okay. Because I do think this is a very nice small little mech. And now the next mech that we have is a Kai mech. So this came from the Dojo Temple. And I do love how it has a cannon on the side. And I do also love how this mech has fingers. That's a very nice touch as well. So yeah, I'm also kind of pleased with this core mech. Then we have this little vehicle. This is basically like, I don't know, it's kind of like a small walker thing for the cobra snakes, I guess. And it isn't really that special. It's got 4 legs, and as you guys can see, there are some shears on the back. So it isn't really that special. Now the next mech that I have is a very cool one. This is the Ninja Combiner mech. So this is a very cool mech because it's a mech that basically can split into separate vehicles, which is a very cool concept. And now the thing is, I am not gonna split this mech into vehicles because of 2 reasons. One, I don't really feel like doing it, and also the vehicles don't really look that impressive when they're split up. So I'm not gonna split this mech apart, but I just wanted to acknowledge the fact that obviously this thing can split up. Next up, we have the Empress mech. This is a very interesting mech. I do love the giant sword that it has, though it is kind of a pain to pose this because this mech has elbow and knee joints, and that kind of makes it a pain to pose around. Like I can't really stand this up. I can't really stand this upright. As you guys can see, it's kind of hard to pose this, but overall, it is a very, very cool mech nonetheless. Next up, we have the Space Construction mech. So yes, City got a mech as well for a space up team. And I do think this is a very cool mech. You have a cool cockpit section. You have like a hammer kind of thing, and you have some batteries at the back as well, which is a nice touch as well. The next mech that we have is Jace mech. So this is from the Battle Pack set. And it's a very nice small little mech. You get a cool, it has a cool sword as well as a shooter. That's very cool to see. And now next up we have the Elemental mechs. So we have Cole's mech right here. And this is a very cool mech. I do love the hammer that it has. That's very cool. And I do love the transparent orange pieces that it has. That's a very nice touch as well. Then we have Sora's Elemental Tech mech, and I do love how this one also has a blade. I do love mechs that have blades, I don't know why. The weapon is kind of strange, to be honest, but it is still kind of cool, I guess. Next up we have, this is basically a Wolf Clan mech, and it is kind of alright, I guess. It has a tail, which is cool. The arms are kind of weird, honestly, but it is kind of what it is, I guess. Next up, we have Kai's Elemental Fire mech, which is very, very cool. I love the sword that it has, as well as the fire that is coming out of the mech. That's a very nice detail as well. Next up, we have, well, another Kai mech. So this right here is the Climber mech. And this is honestly a very cool mech because this one actually has 4 arms, and you have the gravel hook that you can use to basically make this thing hang, I guess. It is very cool. And also what's cool is that this mech actually brought back angle articulation, which is very cool to see. So yeah, overall, this mech right here is honestly very, very cool. Alright guys, now we only have 3 more mechs to go. And the next mech that I'm gonna show you guys is going to be Mateo and Z-Blob the Night Battle mech. So this right here is Z-Blob's biggest form yet. and it is very cool. It's supposed to be a knight. You can tell by the sword that it has and the shield. Now you can put a Meteor in the cockpit, but I haven't done that. I do love the shears that it has on the sides. So I don't really know what these are supposed to be on the back. I guess they're supposed to be like wings. I don't really know. Also do love how there are wheels at the bottom. I do think that's a nice touch as well. And now the second to last mech that we have is probably the best one. This is Cole's Titan Dragon mech, which is absolutely huge. I don't know if it's even in frame, but this mech has a lot of possibility. Basically, there are 2 pistons on each leg, and I do love how the knees work. You basically, I don't know if you can see this, but these pieces kind of slide, which is very cool. And the sword piece is honestly kind of cool. And I do love how there are wings set up as well. And I don't even mind if this minifigure, if this set only has 1 minifigure, because this is not about the minifigures, it's about the build. And this mech is honestly very cool. So I am very happy to have that mech. And now the last mech that I have is Zane's battle mech. So I guess this right here is kind of supposed to represent Zane in the process of getting his giant form. You know, the big Zane figure that is included in the Combiner mech set. And now I do kind of think this mech is kind of alright. I do love how the swords have like flowers on them. I don't really know why the legs are black. I just don't understand why the legs had to be black. But anyways, that was basically it for my giant Lego mech collection. And now let me know if you have any of these mechs, because, well, I think I had about 26, which is a lot. So let me know if you have any of these mechs, because I will obviously be interested to know if you have some of the same mechs that I have. And there are still some mechs that I still want to get, and there are probably some mechs that you have that I don't have that I probably do want. But anyways, that's it for this video. If you found this video, make sure to leave a like, and make sure to subscribe to this on YouTube, and hit that bell notification button so that you're gonna find our upload new video. So now, and I'll see you next time. Bye.